Welcome back to Outrage Science Bites. I'm David Beckmeyer, and this is day 19 of our 30-day challenge, continuing our exploration of bridging our divides. As we approach the final stretch of NaPodPoMo, today we have a doubleheader with our guest, Tim Jones from Longer Tables. Longer Tables brings people from all walks of life together in connection experiences around meals. He's answering two key questions. First up, what is the most important question on the minds of your participants? Here's Tim Jones.
I mean, gosh, my brain goes to the $1,000,000 question is which we've all talked about, is we know the solution to isolation and loneliness. And it's simply picking up the phone and not scrolling, but calling somebody and saying, "Hey, you want to go grab lunch?" It's really truly that simple. And as well as having some of the social emotional skills, right? Awareness of which sadly and terrifyingly are getting less and less, especially with youth. So it's kind of stupefying. I would never say this, but it's stupefying of how this can be alleviated. Now we have elders and folks in nursing homes that are physically isolated. So we have to get more creative about that. But for most of us, the solution is right in front of us, and that's what we talk about with the table. It's most of us have to eat 2 or 3 times a day. It's right there in front of us, and the world we desire is right there. So I think that's the the question that I hear the most, and I don't even know if it's a question. When we set tables, we just see people come alive, and their hearts are beating, and their eyes are wide, and they're like, "What's going on?" And well, you just experienced an authentic, deeply personal way you just connected with a human being, and you felt seen, and you felt loved for a second, and you experienced your story being important and heard and received. That is, you just tasted, pun intended, connection, a relationship. And so that is, and we have people ask, well, how do we do this in our world? And I'm like, gosh, it's just setting a table. It's very simple. So I don't know if that's helpful, but that's kind of the question we get.
And second, the question he wants the bridging movement to explore.
I think we need to reclaim the table for good. I think we have so few places in our world where we can connect versus human beings, rather than our titles, as we've talked about, or our positions, or even our socioeconomic positions, or any of that. Where do we do that? I really struggle to think of places where I can encounter other humans as just humans. Maybe the gym, I don't know. But we simply believe our special contribution is an invitation to reclaim the table as the place to rehumanize people, because the table is home to every single human being that's ever walked this planet. Every human being understands what happens at the table. And so there is already a sense of belonging, of familiarity, of warmth, and of safety to be at the table. And so we simply believe whatever practitioners, whatever organizations, activities are happening, we see the table as a bridge. The table is a bridge between human beings. And again, any effort can utilize the table. If we simply just build the table into whatever we're doing, if we start with the table and end with the table, I like starting with breakfast and ending with margaritas, and we can do the work in the middle, that I think will radically change how we see one another, experience one another, and then how we will co-create and co-design the solutions, because now we're doing it as human beings.
That's all for today's episode of Outrage Science Bites. Stay curious, and until next time, I'm David Beckmeyer. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy these Science Bites episodes, you may enjoy the long-form Outrage Overload podcast at outrageoverload.net.